Guys, one more announcement. The back table where the food is, that's for the women. Back table's for the women. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody, 1 second. Everybody look over here. This is really important. Hello? Everyone see me? How many fingers am I holding up? Okay. Can everyone see what I'm holding in my hand? Okay, this is one of these coasters that my brother was talking about earlier. These belong to MDY, and they're for use at future Siyumim, so we ask you not to take them. Okay, and there's cameras everywhere, by the way. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Rabosai, we're going to start the evening. It's beautiful to see so many people come tonight. What a Kiddush Hashem. What a beautiful opportunity to get everybody to come together. And the beautiful olam that we get with the Daf Yomi shir. Who knew that it would grow to much more than just a regular Daf Yomi shir? We say this every time, but it's worth repeating because Rebelli works so hard to make sure everybody has a geshmaka time and enjoys the daf, and which is a big part of it. And I know we get sometimes people say, why so many stories? Why all the jokes? But it's these types of stories and jokes that really keeps people coming back more and more and more and more and more. So Yasher Koach to everybody. It's you all are part of it, and we appreciate you all coming here tonight. And Baruch Hashem. So we're going to start the program first with the Siyum. Hopefully everybody here was Messiah. Okay. Oh, Rabbi Stefansky, what is in your pocket? Your arm looks a little off kiltered, and your jacket is dragging down to the side as if you're trying to pocket something.
It's okay.
Whoa. Okay, you have anything else in your pocket? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Anything else?
I have a little sushi, but that I'm not taking out.
Okay.
Bruchim Abayim, Shechiyanu, Vikiyimanu, Vigiyanu, Lazman Hazeh. It's an amazing occasion. When you look around the room, this is what MDY is all about. Look how many Streimlach, the Kippas Rugaz, the guys behind me. Get over here. What's your name? Yukutiel. Give it up for Trek. They're amazing, these guys. And then you have all the children over here that are doing the daf. Literally amazing. And there's guys in the room that haven't done a Siyum in 15, 20 years. And this is the very first Siyum. Don't worry, don't blush, you're not the only one. Tremendous hakaras hatoiv to those who flew in, especially for the Siyum. As I mentioned before, we have Fischl and his entire family, I mean not his entire, but his wife, 3 daughters that flew in. You have Yossi Klein from Superior Plumbing. You have Justin Ivry, who's hiding here somewhere. You're not going to know who he is. By the way, talking about Justin Ivry, Yishkoyach Justin Ivry for the wine glasses, the coasters. There's a beautiful display over there with the Castells 2017. Yishkoyach. Tremendous hakaras hatoiv to Yidi Leibowitz, who did all the marketing in Ami magazine. Who else do we have from out of town? Yitzi Schleifer from Baltimore, who came specifically for the Siyum also. That is official Siyum, the official nephew Siyum that he did. You have to understand what's going on here. You have a guy, I'll talk about him a little later, we'll hear a few words from him, but it was so important for him that people should learn Torah that he offered 35 of his nephews $1,000 each for them to finish the Masechta, and that's why he came to Israel to do a Siyum with them. He's one of his nephews that just started putting on tefillin again because of the daf. It was an amazing thing. So, Shkoyach. Hakaras hatoiv to Mrs. Kamiansky, who set this whole thing up tonight. It was very difficult circumstances because they were doing Shalosh Shudas here and they literally had to drag people out by their payas and do the sponge afterwards, and we were dragging the shear to go on and on just to give them a little chance to do sponge and set up. Tomer Levy, who runs these Siyum, he was in Turkey. He had enough space in his head to go ahead and get us these gifts that he gave out by the door. The shofar is so good, and the hand, the shkoyach Tomer. By the way, I don't know, I didn't hear from him, but Tomer is supposed to be taking on growing the satellite locations around the world. Hopefully he takes the job. It's a tremendous job, and it needs a lot of chizuk. So, yishkoyach to all of you for coming tonight and participating. Yishkoyach to my chavrusa, my Rebbe Didi Kramer, who's washing his hands right there in the corner. Yishkoyach to all the koil guys that are here, the spread out. One of them actually has a shrine, was the guy all the way at the end over there. Two guys? The Belzer's here? The Belzer's here. The Menachem Mendel Fenster's here. Wow. We might have an opportunity to actually ask these guys questions on Rosh Hashanah, if anybody wants, or in the entire Shas, show off their Yediyas HaTorah, which is it's actually a chizuk for everybody. So, without further ado, in the shir, I went all the way to the last words, 3 words, but we could do it again for those who weren't there. Omer Avacher Bar Viro, Omer Reb Shimon Chasido. Poiter Hoyer Reb Gamliel Afilu Am Shebasados. According, we saw there was a 3-way machlokes. According to Reb Gamliel, the Shliach Tzibur, the Chazan, has the power to say Shmoneh Esrei and be moitzi people that are not even in the shul, people that are out in the fields. The idea is that he's a shliach of the tzibur. He's literally appointed by the tzibur, and you don't really have to be there. And the Gemara understood, certainly, if somebody's out in the field 20 minutes away, you can't even see the chazan, he's yaitza. So certainly if somebody's in the shul, in the back of the shul, in the middle of the shul, not wanting to daven, the chazan should be moitzim. Says the Gemara, no, adarabah. Hani anisi, hani lo anisi. If a person has a oinus, he's working for parnasa, and it's difficult for him to come back to the shul, he's yaitze. But a person that's sitting in the shul, what excuse does he have? He should say Shmoneh Esrei. The Tani Abba Bereder Rav Yamim Bar Chia, Am shachari kohanim einon b'chlal bracha. Those who are behind the kohanim when they duchen, they're not yaitze. This is the place, by the way, I was telling you about. This upstairs. So this is the Yerushalmi Shul. It's called Prushim. So during Birkas Kahanim, there's people, I don't know what the word is, but they're not fighting for position, but you see them running up. You know, like some people, like they run up for Hagbah and they want to see in the words, and a little elbow here or there. Not mamish, but this guy, he has to be in direct line. He takes out his laser on Shabbos, points in front of the kohen, and he's like, okay, I'm here. As if nobody else gets the bracha, but okay, it shows the chavivas hamitzvah that he has for the duchening. But if you're behind the kohen, forget about it. You're not yaitze. Eloki Yossi Rav Omer Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi Omer Reb Shimon Chasido Lo Poter Gamliel Elo Am Shebasados. Not true. What happened is, like we said before, the only people that are yaitze are the people in the fields, and that's it. My time mishum da anisei b'melacha, because they have a good excuse. They're einsim anusim. And therefore, they're yaitze, avol be'ir loy, but if you're in the city, in the shul, in the city, you're not yaitze. Hadron Allah yantev stikol ha'mesachas Rosh Hashanah. Hadron Allah yantev, you could all say it with me. Hadron Allah yantev stikol ha'mesachas Rosh Hashanah. Hadron Allah yantev stikol ha'mesachas Rosh Hashanah. Hadron Allah Mesachas Rosh Hashanah v'Hadron Chalon, Daitan Allah Mesachas Rosh Hashanah v'Daitan Chalon, Lo Yisas Shem Minach Mesachas Rosh Hashanah v'Lo Yisas Shem Minon, Lo Ba'alma Odeim v'Lo Ba'alma Da'asi. Hadron Allah Mesachas Rosh Hashanah v'Hadron Chalon, Daitan Chalon Mesachas Rosh Hashanah v'Daitan Chalon, Lo Yisas Shem Minach Mesachas Rosh Hashanah v'Lo Yisas Shem Minon, Lo Ba'alma Odeim v'Lo Ba'alma Da'asi. Hadron Allah Mesachas Rosh Hashanah v'Hadron Chalon, Daitan Allah Mesachas Rosh Hashanah v'Daitan Chalon, Lo Yisas Shem Minach Mesachas Rosh Hashanah v'Lo Yisas Shem Minon, Lo Ba'alma Odeim v'Lo Ba'alma Da'asi. Yiratzim l'fanecha adi no eli hinu v'le'av esenu shteit. Yiratzim l'munasenu b'olam azeu seim. Mono l'olam abba. Chanina bar papa, Rami bar papa, Nachman bar papa, Achoy bar papa, Abamari bar papa, Rafim bar papa, Rochish bar papa, Sukkar bar papa, Adar bar papa, Dor bar papa. Harav no adinu elim is divrei Yisrael befinu b'fiyas am chabes Yisrael v'ni kulonu anachnu tzitzoyinu v'tzitzoy am chabes Yisrael kulonu yodi shemecha v'adam Yisrael secha mo'ivit hachakmenim am Yisrael secha ki lo'elam ili yehi li b'sam chukecha l'man le'yivoish lo'elam le'ishkach p'kudecha kivom chisoni v'uch ato adinoi lamdeni chukecha amen 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 tzela v'ed mo'idem anachnu fonecha adinoi le'inu v'le'avasenu shesamdach hakenu me'yeshu b'is ha-medrash v'le'samdach hakenu me'yeshu b'kronos she'onu mashkimim v'hem mashkimim Oder mashkim di Torah ve mashkim di dvarim beteilem ono ma'amelim vehem ma'amelim ono ma'amelim kam socha vehem ma'amelim vehem kam socha ono rotzim vehem rotzim ono rotzim chaylam haba vehem rotzim lever shachas shenem v'ato leim teridem lever shachas an shidom emir melech yimem v'ani eftach bo Yrotzim milvonecha adinu elehai kishim shezartani l'sayim mesechtas Rosh Hashanah kein ta'azreinu שזרתנו לסיים מסכת ראש השנה כן תעזרנו להתחיל מסכת ספרים אחרים לסיים ללמוד ללמד נשמע ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי סמכות יסר באהבה וזכות כל התנועים והמרואים ותלמידי חכמים יעמוד לנו לזרענו שלא יתומו שהתורה מפינו ומפיזרנו וזרע זרענו עד עולם ותזכיים בנו בסלח אותם חויסך ושוך בחודש מעולך וקיצויסו היסי שיחך כי ויהיו בימיך ויוסיפך שנסחיים או יחיום בימין ובשמאל ובכבוד אדינוי אויז לעמו ייתן אדינוי יברך זמי והשלום יסגדי שמירה בו ואולמוד הוא עושה לסחדוס ולחי ומייסי ולעסוק ויוסי נחי אלמוד לבנית כחדו ישולם ושלחלו ליחלו בגבו למקר פחון ונוחו מנערו ולעשו בכל דשמי לעשרי וימליך קודשו ברכו במחוסי וחיי חוינו ומיכוינו וחיי לכל בייס ישראל בעגלו בזמן קוריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבו מבורך לעולם ולעולמי יום היו יסבורך וישתבח ויספואר ויסחומה ויסנסי ויסדור ויסעלה ויסעלו שמי דקודשו בריחו לילה מקום חסו ושירוסו ושבחסו ונחמסו למירום בעולמו ואמרו אמן Israel ורבו נאמרתי מדיו מקול תמידי סמדיו מה קומנדו עשו בירה ישראל ויעש קדישו די מדיו בכל עשר ועשר יהי אלוהי נלכוין שלום רבו חינו וחיס דברך אמן וחיינו חינו מזוינו רביחי ובכל מקודם ונפש שמעיו וערב אמרו אמן יהי שלום רבו משמעיו וחיים עלינו ועכו ישראל אמרו אמן ויעשה שלום עמו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועכו ישראל אמרו אמן
שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם. היה אשריכם תלמידי חכמים, שדברי תורה חביבים
Rabbi Sai, I'm always jealous of all those pictures from all over the world. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get all the pictures from Toronto, from Manchester. Rabbi Sai, please, let's all line up in the center of the room. Let's show them what it really looks like with RBS Siyum. Don't be shy. Don't run out the door. There's Avigar gear. Just like he didn't let people in, he's not letting people out. Let's line it up. Center here, let's go. Right over there with Yaakov Rosner is already in line. Let's go. We'll go this way. Right where you are, Lauren. Yeah, right over there. Let's go. Rabbi Sai, let's do this quickly. Somebody chop Fischel, somebody chop Rabbi Schoenberg. Rabbi Schoenberg, over there, we need you over there in the center of the room. Whoever goes quick is not going to be called out. If you don't, oy vavoy.
At least Stefansky, go in line.
If you're in the back, please stand on chairs. We got to make it look impressive. If you're hiding, it doesn't do us any good. Let's go, you too. Get on there. Everybody. Besides the guys in the band. The guys in the band, stay right where you are. Guys for sure have to be in the picture. Moshe! Rachem Mendel, ich sei dir. Oh. How's it looking? How's it looking? Stopping it up? Whoa. Wrist up. Yeah? Let me get in here. Pick up your head. Be proud to be an MDY. Pick up your head. Don't hide.
This year.
You need anything, Chaim? Tell me what to do.
To build the Beis Hamikdash. To Yerushalayim. To build the Beis Hamikdash. Verbringen all den.
Shkoyach, everybody. Shkoyach.
Going to Yerushalayim. To build the Beis
Hamikdash.
Going to
Never heard the song. To build the Beis Hamikdash.
We're going to Yerushalayim to build the Beis Hamikdash, verbringen all day long. Let's bring Mashiach, Tzidkenu. Let's bring Mashiach, Tzidkenu. Let's bring Mashiach, Tzidkenu. Ve'yameinu. Hey, Yerushalayim, to build the Beit Hamikdash. We're going to Yerushalayim to build the Beit Hamikdash. Going to Yerushalayim to build the Beit Hamikdash. Verbringen all day long. Let's bring Mashiach, Tzidkenu. Let's bring Mashiach. Tzidkenu tavim Mashiach. Tzidkenu.
Give it up for Track. Unbelievable. Beautiful job. Rabbi Sai. Moving on with the program. First of all, I want to say tremendous mazel tov to Shlomo Aaron Kamiansky. Shlomo Aaron, how old are you? He's 8 years old. Get on the chair here. Show everybody who you are. Shlomo. Look what he did, Rabbi Sai. Shlomo finished Masechtas Rosh Hashanah Mishnayos. MDY is very, very proud of Shlomo, and therefore they're presenting him with $100. Gee, Shlomo, wow. Wherever, Rabbi Sai, grab your seats. MDY has a tremendous akar satayv. It's official and his family. From the beginning of Shas. The Masechtas Brachas official arrived here. Everybody, if they could please grab a seat, give a little kavod. Hillel Abrams, thank you. Rabbi Saib, if you're not going to sit down, I'm going to call your name. It might be embarrassing. Hillel's used to it already. So from the very beginning, not the beginning of our shir, but the beginning of Shas, official would arrive in a taxi, and he saw something about MDY, and he always wanted to promote MDY and do something for MDY, and he came up with the turning of the daf, sponsoring the Mishnah, etc., etc. And when Yossi Klein and Hassan Gans in New York, they came up with the idea of giving free Gemaras, which I thought, in the beginning, I wasn't like a big fan, and very quickly became clear that people need a little push. Everybody wants to learn Torah, and some people had a little bit of bad experience, some people are too busy at work, and with a little bit of a push, especially when Chaverim come and say, hey, do it, it's a good idea, hey, you get a free Gemara, why not? As we heard from Davis from London, he said, I could afford it, I have a nice company, I could afford a Gemara. But it was free, I took it. And now he's hooked, and he gave back 1,000 times over. The point is, official stepped in, and he said, I want to do X amount of Gemaras, and then he said, I want to do the entire Rosh Hashanah, and for Rosh Hashanah we gave out 1,500 Gemaras. Now it doesn't mean there was 1,500 new people, but he also was big into the idea that people from the shir should be participants in this, and give back to the guys in the shir, and if people from the shir bring somebody else, they'll also get a Gemara. So 1,500 Gemaras. And he said, okay, I'm doing it because, as we know, Lili Nishma Shaya, his son, was nifter at a very young age, and Shaya loved Rosh Hashanah, and he was nifter during the Masechta of Rosh Hashanah 7.5 years ago, and he gave a shir in Masechta Rosh Hashanah right before he was nifter. So Rosh Hashanah meant a lot to official, and he gave. But the pella was that as soon as Rosh Hashanah was over and I spoke to him on the phone, I said, where do you find a mitzvah like this where you give and the return on investment, the ROI is so great? And he said, you're right. Maybe he's trying to make me feel good, but he's, look, for $25, whatever Arshville Gemara costs, you get a guy involved in learning, and you never know, the guy might finish Shas, the guy will change his life. As we see from all these emails and from the people telling us, it literally changes lives. All for $25. Tremendous return. So he said, you know what? Yes, I'm connected to Rosh Hashanah, but I want to do Tainus as well. So he stepped in. And now in Tainus we're up to, I think, 1,400 Gemaras or so. It's tremendous. Tomorrow, Be'ezer Hashem, over 1,000 new participants, people that have never learned the daf, so behave, please pretend that we're normal. 1,000 new people being starved to shir. You know what that means? It's like we're used to it. Another 1,000, it's 8,000, 10,000. It's 1,000 people, 1,000. So many of them don't learn and haven't learned and don't know. They want to learn. I'm telling you, you see it. They want to learn. That's all, guys. They want to. They know that it's important. That's all, guys. Yeah, okay, whatever. At any rate, Rabbi Isai, here's official himself. He was able to speak. He came in. He flew in special for the Siyum on Masechtas Brachas. Also, at the beginning of COVID, right when it started. And here he is again, Reb Official Gross.
Kelly, during this long introduction, I had time to think of a limerick. A limerick, that's A-A-B-B-A. Some doffers are poorer, some are richer. Some doffers are poorer, some are richer. Some are Talmid Chachamim, some are Amaritzers. Regardless of the ages, we all turn the pages, but only here do we learn math from a Panovitcher. Okay, in case it gets boring, I have a little riddle that we discussed at our Shabbos table today. at this time of the year between Zayin Cheshvan and December 3rd or 4th or 5th, we have a Shaila Chutzarts. We say V'sein Bracha. You guys already saying V'sein Talamatar, and it gets very confusing what to do. There's an old joke that go to shul on Ma'ariv on December 4th, say, honey, I'll be home a little late. We say V'sein Talamatar, old joke. Our version is, when I go to shul on the Matzoi, the first days of Pesach, I'll say, I'm going to be a little late. They say V'sein Bracha. Wife says, isn't that less words? Says it is, but I usually forget, and then I have to say over Shemoneh Esrei again. So that's actually happened here. I asked the Shaila, what do? I was told to say the same bracha in the silent Shemoneh Esrei, and then to say San Talamatar and Shema Koleinu. When the first day I was here was Mincha time right by Shkia, and then I forgot to do the Shema Koleinu. I said, oh, I'm going to be here forever. Doing it, but Baruch Hashem, we're here. So the riddle is, you could ignore everything else, is some people start saying Talamatar on different days. So how is it possible you have 7 people around a table, and this guy says, I once said it first time on December 4th, and I said it December 2nd, December 8th. We have 7 days in a row where somebody said the first saying bracha of the year, I should be saying Talamatar of the year, was on December 2nd, Chutzlarts, or whatever, December 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 2nd, let's try again, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. The Panovich math there. Okay, so you have to figure it out. There's a couple caveats in there. Out of these 7 people, 6 of them were Kohanim, 4 were from Chicago, 3 were from South America. Everybody did it when they were over 20 years old when they picked out this date. You could tell me the answer later as long as you weren't at the table. The first one that gets me the answer will get another, we'll get a Ben Franklin, Mirz Hashem, so you don't have to pay attention to the rest. Maisa Shahaya Kamad Hoya. There was a car plastered with MDY magnets and license and bobbleheads going up the Jersey Turnpike. And they were labeled, I won't say who was in the car. There was a big pile of cookie corner, whatever it is, cinnamon buns, and then the music was on. It's geschmack through the daf, and they're pumping up the highway, maybe swerving a little bit, and sure enough, they get pulled over by some state troopers. They come over, registration, license, everything's fine, but Kevin, once you ever shush to stop them, pop the hood. They pop the hood and says, oh my gosh, what do we have here? First thing they pull out is a unicycle. Well, we know the unicycle, but it wasn't like a really good unicycle, it was like a half a bicycle. And said, oh, that's for what's it, Rosh Hashanah, Daf Yomi, to see all this, to see all the mazalis, etc. Yes, I heard about that. The other guy says he's doing stuff for a chasna. Get on the unicycle. So the guy's on the unicycle. He's going back and forth. They rummaged through the car, and they got 8 torches. Well, that's the Gemara in Sukkah. That's Simchas Beis Shoeva. Here, let's see you juggle them. And he's on the unicycle. He's juggling them. And they pull out knives, long knives. Well, that's if you're shechting outside, and short knives, and item after item. There were a couple blackbirds there, and then he came back in, and there were white birds there. I mean, what kind of shtick is over here? Then they see this like white substance. It's like a couple of ounces of white substance. They got to call the drug units, the canine units. They come in, and they're sniffing at it, and there's no reaction whatsoever. Then they go look into some other bags. They sniff another bag, and the dogs go howling out of the way. Well, that's kuta chabavli. Kuta chabavli is made a special, I think Rebelli has a special recipe for it. He saves his milk, saves his bread. Make kuta chabavli. And then there's another bag, and they smell it, and again they go away. What's that? That was from the Churban Shul by the But the socks, they're not still white socks. And they're going on, and the guy's juggling, etc. All of a sudden, a couple ambulances fly by. Oh, that's F-119 and FL-83, and everybody's singing the Daf, etc. All of a sudden, a wind comes, and whew, a fighter pilot goes by. Oh, that's F-16. Gets a big shadow overhead, B-52. So then, it's getting a little tense over there. A truck comes up, says Superior Plumbing. So it's busy, it's Labor, it's noisy. Guy gets out of the truck, blue shirt, little payas, and he takes out a lounge chair, and he takes out an iced tea. It's, what a stress relief, you know? Meanwhile, and I'll go on forever, we only did a quarter of Shas, but meanwhile, another truck goes by, and there's two Bubbas in the truck. It wasn't Bubba Basra, it wasn't Bubba Metzia, maybe it was a Bubba Maisa, but two Bubbas are coming up the road, and they had a lot of beer to drink because they couldn't use the beer for Havdalah anymore, and then they couldn't use the white wine for Kiddush anymore, and they're trying to, they're Baltashkas, it was for Pesach, you know, they were drinking as best as they could, and finally one Bubba says to the driver, looking at the activity going on, he says, "You better put the beer down. They made the sobriety test a lot harder now." Not everybody gets that, which is a good thing. Okay, so we're here. We're so happy. My family, my sister is here from Bnei Brak, and some children came in, and we had a big shiloh in the household. Some of my children wanted to know, if you come to Siyum, we give a little allowance as we learn the halachas. You should buy kalim, no, you should buy nice clothes for the ladies in the house. So when my daughters had a shaila, is this considered the same budget like we buy for Yom Tov that we could buy for a Siyum? It didn't take long to think. A buyer would make a Yom Tov l'Rabbanan, Yom Tov for the Tzibur Rabbanan who learned. So it's Mefurish, it says Yom Tov there. And Yom Tov you buy clothes, so over here you buy clothes. And it was a double mitzvah because they know their father is a lover and collector of points, you know, credit card points. Here they were able to go, get the clothes, and give me a lot more points for my account, so hopefully I can come back here sooner. There's a few weeks ago, the Haftarah by Parshas Vayera, I tell the story of, I don't think his name's mentioned in there, but Avadia. Avadia was a Navi, and I think there was a time of Achavizevel, there was the Gzeira against all the Rabbanim and the Nevi'im, and they had to run in hiding, and he tried to help them. He borrowed money to feed them, etc. Now, we also have in business, there's a low machlekes we have sometimes in which is better, a minig or a din, minig or din, and there's different supports, but the concluding answer was, if you lend somebody money, the din is you have to pay him back. The minig is not to. But meanwhile, he knew that he had to pay back. He tried as hard as he could to pay back, but unfortunately he was nifter. And his wife, you know, the creditors came and they said, you owe us money. And if you don't pay us back, we're going to take away your kids. And she comes running to Elisha. What can I do? He says, Ma babayis, what do you have? She has a little container, a little pint of, half pint of shemen. Says, take the shemen. Do you have any Tupperware, any containers? Fill it up, go to your neighbors, keep on pouring that shemen until you filled up every container. Then go, sell it on eBay, whatever you got to do, you'll get a lot of money. Then you can pay off the creditors. That's what happened. So a fellow once came, so I'm very indebted to a lot of our new friends. I have so many new friends in MDY. One of them is Yossi Klein, who can influence a lot, and is chasadim. So I'm saying this in his, of course, it's still Yantif there. I hope he's not watching it. Shabbos, I hope he's not watching it now. But a fellow came to the Balatanya, what's this, 200 years ago or more? And he said he was very depressed. And he didn't have the verve, the excitement in life, and what could he do, and this and that. So the Balatanya pulls out the quotes from this Haftarah from the Navi. He says, Mababayis, what do you have in your Basi? Basi is yourself, your house, your home. You have a little Hashem and you have a little Neshama in there. And it uses Lashon Hashem and the same words as Neshama. Well, take that Neshama and go to your neighbors and fill up every container you have. And you start spreading out your Neshama and filling up other people's containers, you're going to be in a good place. And that's where I think we owe a tremendous recognition to the MDYers and the MD wives, but especially to someone like Yossi Klein, who had the idea to give out a Gemara, to give a Gemara to every people. Gemara costs $25, $30. Some people got a free Gemara, they bought a Shas. Some people got a free Gemara, they gave $10,000. But it was about they were given from the Neshama. Someone cared about them enough to give them a Gemara because they want them to do better. And it's a tremendous Hakar Tov to the behind-the-scene guys. These guys, Shlomi Rosenberg and Asano Gans and Mark Ashkenazi and all these fellows are working so hard to give out a Gemara. Like Rebelli said, we dedicated the Rosh Hashanah in memory of our son Shaya and memory of my father and father-in-law, who all in their own ways did a tremendous Mesiris Nefesh for Torah, each in their own way. But I talk to everybody sometimes, it's not easy to get through, but we talk about return on investments. Return on investments, if you want to save 4 years in college, is buy low, sell high. Just, that's the whole thing. So here you have an investment. You can give money. Well, the money is the easy part. Make a few phone calls. Call someone else. People know if you're coming down from New York to Baltimore because you want to sell me 4,000 cases of something, you're going to hear a schmooze on MDY. And this happened many, many times. We've got people on it. We want to discuss it. Our whole office is involved. I want to shout out to Tzvi and to my son Simcha, who are running the show, who are also involved with MDI, with the project, etc. So, just a minute. Check my notes. It says that by advertising, in case you want to get a master's, advertising is, after you finish all day of studying, it's 50% of it is effective and 50% of it is a waste. The problem is you don't know which 50% was effective or not. So we try to push. You also have to donate your time. You make the calls if you believe in it. And you take a yid, and I've heard stories. This one gave up Netflix because now he's doing it. This one's several people, so really are putting on tefillin that to relax on their tefillin. There are just so many ways that the daf can turn around the family. Whether the kids are singing, Good Morning Rabbi Osai, but they have a cheshivas for the father, for the brother who's learning Torah. It changes everything. And it's one thing that we do it for ourselves. It's times got to push it forward. Let's push it forward, and we should have even a bigger Siyum next time.
I can do this. Rabbi Isai, we only have one more speech. This one is unique and very, very special. I'm very much looking forward to it. One of the guys that came in from America for the Siyum, specifically for the Siyum, is Yossi Klein, stress relief pill. Yossi Klein, everybody knows Yossi Klein. What's amazing about Yossi Klein is that he's a very shy person naturally, similar to myself. And for him to get up here and speak is Gehenna, I can tell you. I know. I'm sure he's going to do a great job. But it's amazing to me that he's willing to do this. Now let me tell you a little bit about Yossi Klein. Yossi Klein told me a year ago, he says, Rebelli, I'm not going to stop until there's 70,000 people in the shir. I thought he's Meshiga, but we're almost there. We're pushing 10,000 and it's amazing. Yossi Klein runs Superior Plumbing in Monsey. But now, not only did he learn the daf and everything, but he's taking it to the next level. Like the Magichir himself, he dropped his whole business. It's in the toilet, like they say. It's plumbing toilet. He gave it to this young man right over here, who's with him. Stand up for a second. We have a Kar Satov to you. Dovi, stand up. This guy is a very talented guy, Dovi. He runs the entire company, and he allows Yossi to push it. Yossi Klein, 24/7. His head is in MDY. MDY, not I. MDY. I'm not kidding around there. Yossi Klein, like I mentioned, spent close to $70,000 this year on credit cards that he doesn't even have. He doesn't know he's paying it back. He's just, is the credit card? Go. He has a heart of gold. There was a lady, Noam Fix. You know about this, Mrs. Fix. Noam Fix's Mora was in America, and she got stuck there. You know, the whole COVID thing, she didn't have where to go. Yossi Klein gave her credit card, said, spend whatever you need, go, do whatever you need. For Shabbos, he doesn't even know her. But she's related to somebody from MDY, free credit card. And I'm telling you, the guy's not a multimillionaire. I wish he was, but he's not. He's a young guy, just started out with his plumbing company. MDY is his life. And he sits there and he wants Hasidim to be part of it, and that's his dream, that Hasidim should get to learn Gemara and do Daf. That is his life. So, Moira Rabbi Isai, please give him a big round of applause. Yossi Klein.
Yiddish, sure. You have special headphones? Translate? I'm going to talk to you, don't worry, for a half hour. Rabbi, first I need to say thank you that my grandfather, when he was getting so much shvuchim, he was in a box, 6 feet by 2 feet, in Tachrichem. He couldn't talk. He couldn't stand afterwards by a mic and talk afterwards. He was considered, after the 120, how you call it. Anyway, so what I want to say is I want to just bring out...
How many pieces of paper is that?
About 10.
It's still half the length of official speech.
I told you, say the ayon v'muli, all your virus will be forgiven. I was actually going, you said stress relief. You said, I was going to the chasana of Rebelli, and I was standing in the airport, and all of a sudden, one of them, we're not allowed to say his name, who went to the chasana, so I can't tell the name. I'll tell you later. And he came over to me, and I was standing by the counter checking in, and he's, hey, stress relief. And I'm turning around. The guy's like, can I check your bags? You have a stress relief pills over there? Can I check? He's like, so you gotta watch what we say next time in public. Anyways, I want to say, I was gonna say the way it started, the whole idea with the free Gemuras. So it was back in, it started basically, how did I join this year also? It started that when we started Bruchas in January, about 2 years ago, was it? And I was picking up this tzaddik over there, Shai Tzaddik, Yidi Lebowitz from the airport, the one who does all the graphics who I called him like 100 times. I need it for tomorrow morning. Ami's closing in like 5 minutes. I need it now. But he's like, what do you need? I need a whole page. And he does it for me. By him is like, could be 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock at night. And usually we're at the last minute when we need all this graphic. We usually don't remind ourselves before the last minute. And he does all this tremendous stuff. This is just a by the way of Mixe Shvochai. So when I was picking him up from airport about 2 years ago, and I told him, you know, it's starting now a new cycle of Daf Yomi. I'm thinking of starting it, but I'm sure I'm gonna lose, like after maybe I'm gonna do brochas. That's gonna be my max, where I'm gonna go to. So he's like, so what? You'll finish a Masechta. Start doing it. Yeah, but I'm promising you, by Shabbos I'll probably be out of it. And he started telling me the whole way from the airport. He was constantly telling me, just do it. And he didn't know, Baruch Hashem, these words that he put into me, I was able, Baruch Hashem, Hashem gave me this chi, I was able to bring more people to the daf, but it's the credit that one word, what a person says to another person, just go ahead and do the daf. What I'm trying to bring out this Mr. Haskell is that a lot of people are already in the shir, already doing the daf, and they don't know what means a word for another person. I called up one of the big machers who were doing the Siyum back in Shabbos. I'm not going to say his name. And I called him up, and he was like, yeah, I fell off the bandwagon lately. I'm not into it. And I gave him a little chizik, but the point is not to tap myself in the back, is to say for everybody, if you have a minute, make a phone call. Not even, first of all, about getting new people. This is for sure something important. But even for the people who are in the shir, and you give him a call, you give him chizik, are you still on the shir? And you never know what this word means for another person, what could bring him into staying on to the daf. A word from a person, you never know what it could mean. And this is something I want to just everybody to building up the people that we have. Just go over to them, see, oh, you're still on it, you're still doing it, or whatever. This is something important. And now going now about getting new people to the daf. So basically, I remember calling up Getty when it was about bruchas, somewhere over there, right? No, Rab Gershon. Rab. Morani, what else? So basically, I called him up and I said to him then in bruchas, I told him, I want to do something for the shir, and we were thinking about doing a raffle. I think remember we did a raffle like what's his name, Farkowitz won. Whatever, what's his name? Farkowitz. Whatever. And I remember then he said, you know what, if you really want to do something, call up Nasanel. He's the guy who you're going to talk to. I'm telling you, he's the guy to talk to. And I figured, he's never going to answer my phone. Tata Nimel, he doesn't know what he hooked me up with. I would say 300 times a day is probably could be sometimes an understatement. Rebelli is only of half of my chats with him. And we're back and forth every single day, hey, what we should do, and now today we should do this idea, that. And the koiches that the person puts in, this Nisanel, you have no idea. I can call him up 5 minutes before Shabbos, and I can leave a message, I'm like, let me test him if he's going to answer. Let me see, 5 minutes before Shabbos. And right away he replied. I call him sometimes 1 o'clock at night. I show the belly text messages. It was 1, 2 o'clock at night, and he replies. I'm like, Nisanel, when are you sleeping? And it's like crazy. This guy is really so devoted. I never seen a person being so devoted for a shir. It's not normal. There's a lot of people I want to bring out their names who do for the daf, but I can't remember everybody now, and I want to say it's a Simon Bruch if I forgot your name. So basically, so then the Sanel told me about when we built up this idea about this free Gemura initiative. Nisanel said, okay, maybe we'll get 100 Gemuras and that's it. We'll call it a day. The problem is, Nisanel, I remember asking me then, so what's your budget then? What do you have? I said, I don't know, maybe, let's say 100 Gemuras I have. So he said, okay, no problem, but how do you want people to know around the world that you have 100 Gemuras out there to give away? You gotta advertise it. I said, yes, but I have, how much is 100 Gemuras? $2,500? This I'll come up with, but I'm not gonna have for all the advertising. So I remember calling up, I know he's this tzaddik, this name is going to be embarrassed, and I'll ask him forgiveness afterwards. I called up, I don't know why it went into my head, I called up Ben Schwartz. And I called him up. I said, Ben, I'm really not good in, how you say, taking money from people. I schnatter people from money. I said, I can't do that, but I really want to get this word out there, and I need money for it. I can't put an ad in Ami magazine. They won't give it to me for free, and I can't put it whatever you want for free. They're never going to do that. So I have 100 gemuras to give away. Do me a favor. You sure? No problem. I give you $1,800 right away. I said, okay, no problem. We got the ad. I went to Nissan. Nissan was like, okay, we have this thing. We can get it going. He puts on the ad, and he's like, don't worry, it will take off. It's going to be good. All right? So we went in, and we put up this ad. The problem was, we realized after we put up this ad that we have like 300-400 requests. And I'm like, uh-oh, what do I do now? I'm like, I'm stuck. I gotta come up with the money somehow. I remember Nissan was calling people. We were schlepping. And I said, Eli, you gotta say it by the shir because we're stuck here. We have like 300 gemuras to cover, and I have no funds. 0 funds for it. I have 100 gemuras. We have like 300-400. It was a yima back then. So Rebelli mentions it. And then this tzaddik official that sits there not only called me, I said it's a 443 number, probably it's a spam, I didn't pick up. And this guy called me up the whole day. And I said, from Baltimore, who wants me? And this guy called me and chased me from other phone numbers. And I said, who's this guy who wants to call me? He said, official, I have here $1,000, here you can. I said, official, but no, just take my card, swipe it. So I said, official, there's a difference between giving money and chasing the guy. He was like literally chasing me for money. I'm like, whoa, this is something. Okay, we've covered. I have another $1,000, and we're starting to get covered. Baruch Hashem, that was an email. We were up to, I think then 500 or 600 gemuras that I think in the beginning, where we gave it out, and it was tough. It was tough. I remember we were going to requests from Australia, requests from New Zealand, India. Yes, we had a guy in India. I showed Rebelli the picture of that guy. And a guy in Venezuela, all these weird places, and for me it was very hard to go and get a gemura for a guy in Venezuela. I'm like, I called him up, are you Jewish? And I didn't know who this guy is. And so I schmoozed with this guy, and he told me about this whole, how he's basically coming back to Yiddishkeit, and it's a whole story. Anyways, this was amazing. And I remember sitting there and saying, how am I going to get to Australia? And I called up, I searched on Google. I saw it's called the Judaica store. I said, do you sell gemuras? Yeah, I sell gemuras. Okay, I have 2 addresses, H, J, X, and I start saying, this guy's writing it down. So you have a credit card? Yeah, I have a credit card. I give him the credit card. And okay, it's going to be there in like next week. I'm like, what? Yeah, this is Australia. You got to call in advance. You can't. Okay, it was tough. And this tzaddik, I call him Big Lamed Wolf tzaddik, Shlomi Rosenberg came and he said, come on, you can't do it like this. Screenshots and all these things that we tried doing. He set up a system, a whole program. This guy is, I can tell you, he's working literally around the clock. I mean, I texted also to him many times, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said, Shlomi, we need to ship out Manchester. It's a whole, don't worry, it's going to be taken care of. This guy's
Still on the first page?
Yeah, first page. And I'm telling you, I'm going to torture you. I have to take Nukuma from every day that I'm getting tortured. Anyway, so this Tzaddik Shlomi made a system, two tremendous systems that, first of all, if somebody gets a request if we get a request from anywhere in the world, if it's going to be Argentina, it's getting shipped out within a day or 2, it should be by this guy's house. And this is a system that I can tell you it's not just happening right away. I mean, it's a lot of koiches to build up such a program. And saved me a ton of headaches and a ton of phone calls, Baruch Hashem. Now this...
One day Israel will also be on that list.
Yeah, no, we did build up.
It's the Gemara before Israel.
It's true. But Israel, we actually built up this time much better than we did last time. And I want to say this name, I didn't forget this name. I didn't even write down his name, but I have it in my heart. This guy I don't forget. This tzaddik is Tomer Levy. I called him up. I said, Tomer, I need some help. We were getting stuck to Gemuras and FedEx, and I paid from my pocket all the money, so I didn't want people to feel like, oh, I have to pay for all this extras. I paid it from my pocket, and I said, Tomer, we got to get it released, but I can't have this joke every single time, getting meches with all these issues that they used to give us. So Tomer Baruch Hashem jumped in and really took it off. And he's in charge with my niece, Sadaika, also doing all Israel, Baruch Hashem, and does a tremendous amount of work. So I want to say, I'm missing out names, I'm telling you. Mark Nakash. I said Mark Nakash, I called him out, I spoke to him. He's a big tzaddik, and he doesn't, I know he hates to have his name. Anonymous. Okay, I'm sorry.
You learn familiar.
But this guy is not, it's not normal. He's like, I want to do something to bring another person to Torah, and I'm like, wow. It's like, he was just chasing me. He's calling the sound, what can we do to bring other people? Maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that, Rafa, maybe we should do... It's amazing. I just look at it. I can say this is the biggest limit. Why do I say it? To give attention to these people. It's also it's the idea of the limits that we have now in our days. Yeah, we need a lot of schism, but we see here that people are just running to what? To bring another person to Torah, which this is why the world was created. Nothing more than that. I want to say another person requested a Gemara in French. The Sanal called me up, said, you know, maybe we should call up Art School, see if they can send out a Gemara in French. I'm like, okay, we're getting a little, like, all sorts of... She said, yeah, the guy knows English. Yeah, he knows English, but he just understands it better in French. Okay, we'll get him into French. I remember, Eli, I showed you the email, the guy in the jail. This guy was sitting in jail. The whole email, I don't have the email. I'm not going to torture you that long for that. But this guy was writing a whole email. I got the free Gemara. It's my only thing. I can imagine this guy sitting in jail. Nobody has not so much visitors, and this is the thing that kept him insane. Basically, it's how it's called, insanity? Insane? Whatever the word is. Basically, you figured out the word. The point is, this guy sitting in jail, nobody has no relatives every single day. I know it's not so easy to go during COVID in jail. And he wrote me like a whole email. A lot of emails doesn't go to you, Eli, sorry. But he wrote me a whole email, and this is like how it kept him going. This guy in Canada called, also long email, he's like, and actually I called this guy up, he lives in somewhere in Canada where there was mamish no Jews. I think it's called, no, something with the M. Montana, I think it's called, whatever, somewhere there in Canada, I don't even know the name, I didn't write it down. Anyways, this guy in Canada called me, and I actually called him, and then he basically said over there that he's not between so many Jews over there, and to get even a cipher, it's not so just you go to the store, you go Amazon. It's not so, and this is he feels a part of a family when he lives alone between no Yidden around, and this is an amazing shir. You don't find that you have a shir where you're connected between hundreds of people. Why? Because we listen to the same shir. This was just something that I feel it's something that we're very unique with. I want to say another guy's name, another tzaddik's name, is Eli Dykman, called up Nisanel not long ago. And this tzaddik does a lot for Rebellies in America and does a lot for the Shia. And he said, okay, and I like the idea, the way he came. He's just, why don't we advertise in dance deals? So we give him the list. Okay, this we're having now in the yeshiva world. This was 500, and this was so much money. So basically, he sees the list. He's like, you know what? I'm on my credit card. Use dance deals. Okay, no problem. We put it on dance deals, and within an hour, we had 70 guys, 70 new participants. And I said, you know, within 1 hour, this person had no idea. He gives $700 or $800. I don't remember what it was. But the $700 or $800, within an hour, he had like 70 guys right there. And he's not just a guy who was just, it's just the idea. He was going forward. Here's my credit card. Let me bring people in. Not just sit and see, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that, and complain and stuff like that. He was just going forward to see what we can do to bring another person to the shir. And
need a sponsor to turn the page.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get a sponsor. I want to say I heard a very nice word from the Meilich Biderman. So it's just people to understand. You don't understand what it means. I bless all this tzaddikim and all the other tzaddikim that I didn't say. They should always be on the giving side. You know, there's a lot of people, Baruch Hashem, Hashem gives them the zechiyah they can give. Hashem should bless them, they shouldn't be on the other side. Hashem divided the world exactly in half. Some half of them is taking, half of them is giving. You don't want to be on the side of taking. It's not a comfortable feeling. And I can tell you, I'll embarrass myself. Not a while ago, I was in the other half of taking. Baruch Hashem, I went through that stage, and Baruch Hashem, I'm able to give and be in the other half. I'm thanking Hashem for that. But it's opportunity you should appreciate and to bring other people to Torah towards that. I saw a very nice word from the Meilich Bidem, and I'm sorry guys, I'm torturing you. I don't want to take you so long. But I have to take Nakum Rebelli. It says, no problem, you can go to sleep while I talk. Anyways, there was a very nice word I heard from Ramailich Biderman. He said that it says in Shmuel, I think it's Shmuel Aleph, it says that the cows who were bringing the urn, how you say, yeah? The urn that's coming up from, and they said that the cows, while they were carrying the urn, they were starting to sing Shira. Why? He says that why is this idea that they start singing Shira is because they were carrying the Torah on their shoulders. So Ramaylich says Moeredik that the person who takes the Al Torah on himself, a person like all the tzaddikim who donate gemuras and all these things, if they carry the Al Torah, they're zoicha to a very big level, as we can see from the cows who were carrying the Torah. They were bringing the Al Torah on their shoulders. And I saw a very nice mushal. There was a king that had like all the stories, yeah? Basically a king with a palace, and there was a Jew over there, and everybody hated him. But this king, this Yid had the very talent of playing music. He had a very, very big talent of playing music. And the king did like very much how this tzaddik was playing on his, with his instruments. So when they were keeping telling him Lashon Hara on this kid, he didn't listen. He said, I'm not listening. Because the way this guy sang his songs was so beautiful that he didn't want to listen to all this Lashon Hara that they gave for this individual. It was a while later that this person went into a fight with someone and he broke his hands. And since then he couldn't play anymore. So it didn't take long and the Koenig basically killed him because he didn't have this music that calmed him down. What we see is that as long, I saw that this mushal applied to this in what belongs to us. As long we sing the song from Torah, that means we learn Torah, that Hashem wants to listen from us, the Torahs that we do every day, even we can be a lot of not so good in other ways, where we need to correct ourselves. We see that we have the song, we have the things that Hashem is basically, it says after the Charbon in one of the Gemuras where Hashem was upset because we left the Torah. Alazim Terusi said, that's why when he was bringing the Charbon, I forgot where the Gemura was, Rebelli, I was trying to look it up, I couldn't find it, but... Alazim Terusi. It said that... Okay. Wie steht the Chorben came from, the Chorben gekommen wegen Matibe gelas the Torah? Alazim Terusi. He's not here. He's here? He's here? Wie steht Alazim Terusi als de reason for the Sibbe voor de Eibste gebrengt Chorben geween wegen Matibe gelas the Torah? Wie? Nedurem? By Aleph Umad? Umad Aleph? Okay, here we go. Anyway, so we see a very interesting thing. Also, someone, I'm finishing in a minute, guys. Don't. I'm not going to torture you that long. There was, I was as a kid. My brother, he really liked to make puzzles, and I always was upset at him. Why he's wasting his time on making puzzles? What's the pshat of it? I didn't understand him. I became older. I tried making a puzzle with my family, and we were finishing the whole puzzle. And we saw, first of all, the way we did the puzzle was like very interesting. We had this the box was very easy. Then the center was like the grass was torturing. And then it was in the middle, like this big, nice house, which was taking us 2 minutes. But then the sky was like, whatever, it was very hard. But at the end, we finished the puzzle. We see one puzzle was missing. We saw that our hours of work that we spent basically goes for nothing. It's not nice. It's not a nice puzzle. I learned a very big Mr. Haskell from it. You see, Hashem, we can debate whether we are this or we're that. Now we have all sorts of groups, people with masks, without masks, vaccines, not vaccines. I don't know how you call them, Tzionim, not Tzionim, I don't know how you want to call them. But all sorts of people, we need this unity. We don't have this unity so much that we're lacking of. And I think MDY is basically an example where we fix that. We make sure to fill in the whole puzzle. And we don't have that anywhere else. We can have people with Streimlich, Kippa Sruga, Satmara, Tzionim, whatever you want to call them. Everybody in one shear together and making sure that the puzzle is completed. You can debate whatever color he is, but you know for sure Hashem needs you, everybody and every single one in this puzzle. I want to finish with the brucha, but before I finish with the brucha, I want to tell one more thing for the belly. It's not easy to do what I'm going to do now, because I'm not, I'm not into poems and all these things. But I want to tell you one thing. I want to tell you, there was a girl in Monsey, talking probably about 25 years ago, or I would say a little bit longer, maybe. I have to check exactly. This girl was going through hell. I don't know if you guys should never experience what it means. And this girl was going through a very, very, very tough time for keine nicht gewünschen. And this girl was in school, in Bais Yaakov school, in Monsey, in Ramapo. And she decided, one day she picks up her stuff, and she's leaving school. She decided she's leaving school. She's not, merely leaving school means basically with Yiddishkeit, she's giving up. And as she was leaving school, the principal stopped her. The principal was Ruti Stefansky. Pulled her in her office and said, "Where are you going?" And this girl basically got a whole schmooze from this principal. And basically pulled her in and basically make sure this tzedakis is coming back. She told me herself now, I'm only from because of Ruti Stefansky. She happens to be by me by Shabbos it's a whole story how she came to my house for Shabbos. And as she was talking, telling me the story, somebody Stefansky, it's a principal. I'm like, what's the first name? She said, Ruti Stefansky. I'm like, wow, okay. This clicks, Stefansky. And I called up Ellie, your mother was the principal by Yaakov. She said, yeah. She said, basically this woman said, I'm Jewish today. She has 2 girls. And I'm from today only because of this principal. She wrote a poem. She said, you know what? I'm going to give it to you after Shabbos. So I want to read it to you in public. Even I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm not so good in poems. But I want to read it to you because to me it touched my heart. It meant a lot to me. It says, heavenly presence, her presence angelic, her smile enchanting, her voice soothing, her eyes understanding, but her heart bursting with love, old or young, from or not, to her they were drawn. Her lips murmuring words, ageless wisdom, her stride so vibrant. Observe the trial, it's Yisrael, New York, spreading a light wherever she went, a mark was left. A gift we were giving, 49 years, each second a lifetime, driven towards fulfillment, each year an omer. An accomplishment life, her castle sky high, my principal, my teacher, my friend, my inspiration. As I turn my gaze heavenward, your exuberance aglow, showering you warmth upon us. Through your presence we find solace. My tears of weakness are dried, for Torah is boundless. Together we'll soar, together forever. She sent me a picture, and whatever, with all these notes that she made for, it says all about your mother over here. And I want to ask Hashem, you should send Aliyuya Nuvi and take us out from Gulas and bring Mashiach Tzedkayni B'mayru.
Hey, shiv levavos, alvan levadim alavosam. Hey.